Here you have a sequence that's defined by un equals 68 minus 5n. We're going to prove it's arithmetic. So if we have un as one term, the next term is un plus 1. Therefore, if we're going to show it's arithmetic, the next term minus the old term must always be the same value, must give us a constant difference. So let's find out what un plus 1 minus un is. Now un plus 1 will equal, put n plus 1 everywhere n is. So we've got 68 minus 5 times n plus 1. And that simplifies to give us 68 minus 5n minus 5. Let's write that out. Times out by minus 5. Take that away from 68, gives us 63 minus 5n. Now un itself is 68 minus 5n. Now this is our next term, and that's our previous term. So let's call this equation 1 and this equation 2, remembering that this is un plus 1. What we're going to do, we're going to do equation 1, the next term, minus the last term, equation 2. So un plus 1 minus un will equal 63 minus 5n minus 68. Be careful here. So 68 minus 5n. So got this term minus that term. 63 minus 68 gives us minus 5. Minus 5n minus 5n. So this is just going to end up being plus 5n here, minus minus. Minus 5n plus 5n, well, that gives us nothing. So we are just left with minus 5. Therefore, as it's independent of any variables, it's always going to be the same constant value. So therefore, arithmetic. And we know the common difference is equal to minus 5. Now, the next part of the series, we're going to find u1 and d. Well, we found d, the common difference, it's minus 5. We find u1 by putting 1 into this. So, u1 equals 68 minus 5 times 1, so that equals 63. So we found that, and we know that d equals minus 5. Next we're asked to find the 37th term. Now we know that the formula again, well, there's lots of ways you can do this, but we may as well use the formula they've given us. Yep, un equals 68 minus 5m. So you get 68 minus 5 times 37. If you're doing a non-calculator paper, 5 times 30 is 150, 5 times 7 is 135. So you get 68 minus 150 plus 130 plus 35 gives 185. Find the difference between those. 60 off 25 will give me 125. Take another 8 off will give me minus 117. Next question asks us to find the first term less than minus 200. So we want to find out when 68 minus 5n is less than minus 200. So let's add 200 to both sides, and we get 268 minus 5n is less than 0. Add 5n to both sides, 268 is less than 5n. Reason why I did this is just to avoid dividing by negatives, because if you have to divide by negatives you have to flip the symbol. Alright, so now we're going to divide by 5. 5 into 250 is obviously 50. 5 into 260 is obviously going to be 252 plus an extra 1, 200, so it's going to be 53.6. Sorry about that. So that is less than n. Therefore, If n is greater than that, then n must be, the first time it's going to happen, equal to 54. Let's just go back to the question. That's not what it asks. What is the first term in the sequence less than minus 200? So you need to put this back into this. So you need to get 68 minus 5 times 54 to get the first term that's less than 200. And that equals minus 202. That is our first term. That is less than 200.